If you are dealing with a herniated disc and you're looking for what treatment options are available, you're in the right place. So I'm going to go through 3 different things today. 1, surgical options and injections, which are not first case scenario. Number 2, that there are a lot of false positives when it comes to herniated disc. And number 3, what non-surgical, conservative, exercise-based approaches that you can take to help yourself. If you're new to this channel, I'm Dr. Nate, and I am a physical therapist. I created this channel to help people overcome pain, to help themselves live well and get strong. All right, let's talk about number 1, surgery and injections. So the thing that when people come to me, the thing that they say almost all the time, they're just like, I don't want surgery or injections. Like, I don't want surgery. I don't want it. And there's good news. Most cases, even if people have a pretty large herniated disc, they're not going to need surgery. So the exceptions to that rule is if you develop what's commonly, like if you do have symptoms that include worsening numbness and tingling, and you have severe weakness and it's not getting better, it's getting worse, then you might need to have a surgical procedure. But just be rest assured that most of the time that isn't required and that doesn't actually happen. Usually it's more, it's severe pain, but it's not worsening symptoms like that where it's actually cutting off blood supply to the nerve itself. So be rest assured that's a last option. Injections can be helpful, but again, I wouldn't necessarily recommend that early on. There are risks to injections as well that I'll go through in a different video. But so that surgery and injections, definitely an option, but should be the last one. The second thing I want to talk about is false positives. So a lot of people, unfortunately, this isn't how it's supposed to go, but this is how our medical system is set up. People go in, they have back pain that they're attributing to potentially a herniated disc, and they immediately get an MRI or an X-ray. Now, this is bad for multiple reasons, and it's been well studied in the literature and the research that should not be the first step. If you do not have worsening numbness and tingling and severe weakness and loss of bowel and bladder, getting an MRI or X-ray should be after you have gone through a conservative management program. So like a rehab process with either a physical therapist or a chiropractor or an osteopath or something. That should not be the first line of defense. Now, you might be wondering, like, well, isn't it important to know that there's a herniated disc? Not necessarily. Reason for that is that there are a lot of people who have disc bulges and even herniations who don't know about it, who don't have any pain. This is very common in other conditions too, like osteoarthritis and a few other things. So like meniscal tears in the knee. So it's really important that the symptoms match with the MRI or the X-ray. If they don't match, then we can't say for certain that's what's going on. And what's more important, again, we have to hit this point, it's what are your symptoms? What are your symptoms? What are your symptoms? And can we improve those symptoms with what I'm going to talk about next? So number 3, and this is getting into the actual like management and the treatment, the non-surgical treatment, is there are specific movements that you can do to help modify symptoms. So for some people, that's bending backwards, right? For a lot of people, that's bending backwards if they have a true herniated disc. So it's back extensions, cobras, and a few other things. I'll point up to a video here where I have, and up here, that will have different examples of that. And also in the description below, I'll be including different mobility exercises that could be beneficial for you. So anyways, bending backwards is often helpful for people who are having issues with a true disc herniation or disc bulge or some sort of discogenic type pain. But then there's also people who benefit from bending forward. So it's interesting because it sounds very counterintuitive, like, well, isn't bending forward and doing that like the thing that caused my herniation? Isn't that a terrible, like we should never bend forward like that with a rounded back. It's bad for us. No. That's a perpetuated myth that has been continuing on and on and on and on and on for so long. And really, if you really get down to it, there's no support for that whatsoever. Now, if you have a lot of pain and fear with the act of bending forward, then I wouldn't encourage you to continue that. However, that doesn't mean that it's bad for you to do forever. And ultimately, like, you have to build your confidence and build your body's tolerance to bending forward. That's an important movement that we should all be able to do. And really, like with most injuries, if you really get down to it, if you can find specific things that you're able to do that ease the pain, and then you work into doing some of those more difficult ones just at a very gradual basis, that's what rehab is. And then also on top of that, if you want to take it to the next level, then you add in a general kind of strength training and conditioning routine. So if you're doing those specific exercises and you're working on getting stronger and in better shape, and you make sure you understand that this is something that can get better and it just is going to take some time and you put in the work, like, you're going to have a really good result. So again, I'm not saying that everybody, every single person 100% will improve and not need surgery or not need an injection, but for the most part, most people will recover from this. Now, depending on the size of the herniation and all that type of stuff, yeah, it like plays a part of how long the recovery process is. But again, everybody is different. Everybody has a different timeline. So just because you know Joe Schmo down the street who improved in 1 week, that doesn't mean that you're going to improve in 1 week. It might take you 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. Like it takes time. So. But the main thing is really, like, there is hope. I think so many people lose hope in this situation because the herniated disc, it's almost treated like it's a death sentence by a lot of people. I have individuals who have come in to see me who have shared with me that they had a herniated disc diagnosis 20 years ago, and they used to be a dancer. They used to be a competitive athlete. They were really like rigorously exercising, and this like crushed them from hearing that. Not necessarily because it was true, but because that's what somebody told them, and it totally changed the course of their life. So if that's you, like, there is hope. So please, please, please rewatch this video if you have to. Save it. There is hope. And please leave a comment below for any specific questions that you have. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to my channel. And there's a lot of other videos that you can watch that show exercises. And I'll post some of them up and around, and just go into more deeper explanations of all this stuff too. So I hope that was helpful. And really, like, this is why I made this channel, is I have these conversations every single day, and it doesn't seem to be perpetuating enough into our popular culture. So please run with this information, and I look forward to seeing you all next time. Later. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to this channel. There is a ton of great information for you. Please peruse all of it and like, subscribe. Yeah, do that.